My fellow Americans, welcome. Today we're going to talk about 2023 Toyota Corolla LE. Since this channel is about greed, ignorance, and stupidity, I think the Toyota story will fit perfectly in at least one of those categories. But let me explain. In December of 2022, our Honda Civic was in a car accident. Repair costs exceeded the value of the car. It was a total loss. So with the money from the insurance company, we went to a Honda dealership to replace our Honda Civic. The parking lot was empty. We were told that it's going to take 6 months before we could get a replacement. However, Toyota dealership told us that we could get a new Corolla within 3 months. They also didn't have any cars on the lot and not even a brochure. We didn't want to wait for 6 months, so we decided to order a new Toyota Corolla LE with CVT transmission. We went online, watched some videos, and the new Toyota Corolla looked okay. When I went on Toyota channel on YouTube, I was not sure if Toyota is making cars or is in music business. There were more music videos than car videos on their channel. Of course, we found some Scotty Kilmer videos about scams, dealership problems, and unhappy Toyota customers. 3.5 months later, the car was at the dealership. As you can see, the upholstery on front seats didn't match the upholstery on the back seat. The car did have a spare wheel in the trunk. However, we were told by the salesman that if we were going to have flat tire, the flat tire with a wheel might not fit in the same compartment. Well, not the end of the world. In the worst case scenario, we could leave the flat tire with a wheel on the side of the road, or ask somebody on a back seat to hold the wheel for a couple hundred miles. It only weighs around 60 pounds. The seats were not very comfortable. There was no lumbar support. However, we figured that with few pillows we could turn the entry-level car into a luxury sedan. Then we had problem connecting our iPhones to the entertainment center using Bluetooth. However, I figured that since there was an option to use a cable, the cable is going to be more reliable. Later on, it turned out that I was wrong. I'm not a big fan of Apple CarPlay navigation. I think that our Japanese friends that designed the car didn't know that United States is still in many ways a third world country. There is no cell phone company that cover the whole entire country with the data service, as you can see on those maps. And the data service is imperative to have internet connection in order to have Apple CarPlay navigation. Of course, it was not all that surprise that we don't have data service that would cover the whole entire country. After all, 2 million people in our country still don't have running water or plumbing in 21st century. And tens of thousands of people in the United States still don't even have electricity. It makes a lot of sense that our federal government mandate that everybody gonna be driving electric cars, including the people that don't have electricity. Apparently, our federal government didn't get that memo, so I figure I'm going to mention that in my video. Essentially, what is going to happen if you're going to go on road trip across the United States and you're going to rely on your phone-based GPS navigation, you're not going to have navigation 40% of the time. After only a few months of ownership, we lost navigation a number of times. However, we still have our Garmin GPS from Honda that works all the time without phone or internet connection. Yes, we could use offline maps, download them, and there's too much monkey business. And that is only a temporary solution anyway. And on top of everything else, Toyota Corolla turned out to be extremely loud. The following day, we took the new Toyota Corolla on the road. It was getting dark, so we turned on the headlights. And we got this. Squares, rectangles, lines, and shapes were projected from my headlights on the road. As the car was going up and down the road, the angle of the light was changing. Those shapes were getting shorter and longer. After 10 minutes of the light show and distractions, we decided to turn around and go back home and investigate. I figured that perhaps the light bulbs in the headlights need to be adjusted. However, I was not able to find light bulbs, so I went online and I found this. Apparently, my Toyota Corolla does not have light bulbs. What it does have is LEDs connected to the computer chip. So if any of those LEDs going to go bad, I'm gonna have to replace the whole entire headlight assembly that is one sealed unit. Essentially, instead of replacing $20 light bulb, I'm gonna have to replace $900 headlight plus labor in my new Toyota. Of course, since I need two of them and the whole front end of the car need to be taken apart just to get to headlights, I'm looking at $2,500 repair after first 24 hours of ownership of that wonderful, reliable, dependable Toyota Corolla LE. The following day, I went to my dealership with pictures. The service manager told me that he's not going to look at my car, fix my car, replace the headlight, or do anything at all to my brand new Toyota Corolla that was supposedly on warranty. Also, he told me that if he's even going to replace those headlights, I will have exactly the same problem. Then he gave me a sticky note with 1-800 number for Toyota. If you have problem with your brand new Toyota, he said, call Toyota. Folks, that was the very first time in my whole entire life that instead of getting service, I got a phone number from the dealership. And how Toyota is going to replace my headlights over the phone, and why I would have the same problem after he would replace my headlights. It looks like all Toyota Corollas have the same problem. After arguing for 30 minutes with the service manager, I decided to go home and call Toyota. In the meantime, I did research, went online, looked at pictures, videos, and I was not able to find anybody that would have the same problem. I did find, however, people that have that problem with that ridiculous blind spot on the left side of the car that Toyota engineers a few years ago created on purpose, because apparently Toyota headlights were so bright that they were blinding everybody that were coming from the opposite direction. Essentially, folks, if something is by design and created on purpose, it's not a defect, despite the fact that it is going to create a problem. Clearly, we have some loopholes in our laws, rules, and regulation. Also, I asked a couple dozens of Toyota owners if they have the same problem with shapes projected on the road. Again, nobody had that problem. The following day, I called Toyota. There was push 1 for this, push 2 for something else. Then finally I got to the second and the third menu. Finally, I got to talk to a human robot. She took all my information and assigned a case number. I waited another 10 minutes and I was transferred to Ryan. He spoke with very heavy Indian accent and was kind of hard to understand. Typically, those people in the call centers have names like Dave or Mary if it's a woman. So I figure Dave and Mary must be the most popular names in India. However, I suspect that Ryan was not his real name. But he said that he will arrange an appointment with my dealership. A week later, I was at the same dealership. They took my keys and the car, and 5 minutes later, I got my car back. I asked if the car was fixed. We told you that we're not going to do anything to your car. So what did you do? I asked. Well, we did exactly what Toyota asked us to do. We parked the car in front of the wall, turned on the headlights, and we took a picture of the wall. I said that is not going to show the actual problem with the car. We did exactly what Toyota asked us to do. Here's your keys. Thank you very much for coming, and goodbye. At that point, even more steam was coming out of my ears. So I went to another Toyota dealership. They were a little bit more friendly. They tried to help. They scheduled an appointment. A week later, my car was at that dealership. However, they kept the car overnight. Again, they were asked by Toyota to park the car on the front of the wall, turn on the headlights, and take the picture of the wall. This time, however, I got paperwork. First of all, the description of the problem is incorrect. Shadows didn't create the blind spot. The blind spot was there, however, the problem is with the shapes projected on the road. As you can see, they concluded that the problem that I'm having with my Toyota Corolla is a normal characteristic of the car. Looks like all Toyota Corollas have the same problem. However, I already knew that was not the case. After the appointment, I got nothing from Toyota for weeks, so I decided to call Toyota again. I called 3 times, and 3 times I got disconnected after they find out my case number and put me on hold. So I called Toyota one more time. I was told that this time I'm not going to get disconnected, and my case is going to be escalated to the higher level. And instead of using case number, they assign a new reference number to my case. I didn't know if that was a good or bad thing. However, a couple of minutes later, I was talking to a different human robot from Toyota. She was surprised that I was calling and dealing with their office. She told me that I was calling the wrong place because they don't handle warranty claims. Well, why nobody told me that 4 months ago when I called the first time? However, what is the right place to call And in case I'm gonna be disconnected, what is the phone number to the other place? Well, she replies that the phone number to the other place is the same. Different place with the same phone number. Interesting. She told me that someone is gonna call me from the other place and will explain everything and answer all my questions. Couple days later, I got the phone from Toyota from the other place with the same phone number. That lady told me that she will send me an email with a link so I can upload my pictures of my headlights. After receiving pictures, Toyota is going to investigate and give me the final answer. Few days later, I received phone call again from the other place with the same phone number. I was told that they review my pictures and they not going to do absolutely anything to my car. They determined that this is a normal characteristic of the car, and actually I already got the final answer when I got the paperwork from the second dealership. I was also told that if it's going to be a recall of those headlights, my name is gonna be automatically on the list. Well, folks, if this is normal, why would there be a recall of those headlights, especially since nobody have the same problem according to Toyota? Looks like this is the end of the road, and my only option now is to pay $2,500 out of my own pocket to replace the headlights, take Toyota to court, or sell the car. I'm sure that after this video, I'm going to have a long line of people waiting to buy it. But the truth needs to be said.
At least now we have some ideas, how Toyota have such a great record. And if you have a problem, the dealership may not only give you a phone number to Toyota, but also if you demand service they are known to call police to remove you from the dealership. If every problem that Toyota customers have is a normal characteristic of the car, Toyota don't need to repair or replace anything.
So folks, if you have problem with your brand new Toyota, you can call the 1-800 number to the wrong place that does not handle the warranty repairs, or you can call the phone number to the right place that is exactly the same according to Toyota. Clearly, the case was manipulated by Toyota from the beginning. Ultimately, the case was decided by pictures that they took, pictures that showed nothing, but not the pictures that I provided. I think any intelligent person would realize by now why I mentioned stupidity and ignorance in the beginning of this video. However, I would appreciate if Toyota would not insult my intelligence in the future. I'm not sure what was worse, the shapes projected by the car, the people I was dealing with, or perhaps the service I received from Toyota. So folks, if you're asking yourself if you should or should not buy a Toyota Corolla 2023, I think you're asking yourself a wrong question. The right question should be, should you buy a Toyota, period? Because if something gonna be wrong with your brand new Toyota, you might get a phone number instead of a service from your dealership. And my understanding was that one of the core values of Toyota was customer satisfaction. Apparently, not anymore. So, I hope you learned something about Toyota today. My car kind of looks ridiculous with the pillows and Garmin GPS and other things, but at least it's usable. It's also for sale if somebody gonna be stupid enough to buy it, but you never know. The one thing I do know is that this is my first and very last Toyota that I ever going to buy to the rest of my life. So folks, again, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, hopefully you learned something about Toyota today. And we have many other stories to tell. Like Albert Einstein said, universe and human stupidity is infinite. So especially living in the United States, we have infinite numbers of stories to tell you. So please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you the next time.